I want to reflect back for a second on covert contracts. I want to spend a few minutes in that space because this is such an insidious way to erode a relationship. Every relationship has it, even if you're conscious of the term covert contract, you don't know that you have them. Mm-hmm. The definition of a covert contract, Hun, would you like to tell us what that is, or you want me to?
You do it.
Is to have an expectation of your partner that is not communicated. For example, in our relationship, if I leave the dishes in the dishwasher or in the sink, I'm showing a clear sign of disrespect to Annie because she wants to have the dishes clean and the kitchen to be clean because she can't relax otherwise. And how could I be over there relaxing if I should know? I should just know better. But I don't know better. That's not how I was raised. We would all do the dishes together and knock it out, or the sink would fill up and today's your day. Topher, you're in charge of dishes, and now it's your turn, Alec, and we're just going to work our way around. And so there wasn't like a rush to as soon as you eat to clean. It just isn't how I was raised. But that's how Annie likes it to be. And so if I don't understand that, it's a covert contract that's going to continue to make her mad because I will continue to violate that agreement without knowing about it. And how can I be sorry about it if I don't even know I'm violating the agreement? To compound that fact, now Annie becomes mad at me for things that I don't even know that I'm doing. And you hear husbands say, like, when I walk in the door, I just apologize because they don't know what they don't know. The fact of the matter is us men are really pretty simple creatures. Like, if you just give me the directions, like, I'll do my best
Marching
to make
orders. I got it.
Yeah, I'll do my best. I might mess it up once in a while, but I'm going to do my very best to try to make you happy because it's not worth it to me. It's not worth it for over dishes. That seems like a lot of energy wasted, that we could just be relaxing and enjoying our evening together. I still mess that up. I still get in a hurry. I still put the dishes in there. I'll forget. I still mess it up. And now Annie's come to the point because she's communicated that to me that she's forgiving me for this shortcoming. But now there's times where I see dishes in the sink that were left in there overnight, and I will load the dishwasher and I'll run the dishwasher because I know that it bothers her. I had no idea that it was such a big deal. These covert contracts they're everywhere. They're all over the place. They're in the bathroom. They're in the car. They're about work. They're about money. They're about sex. There's all kinds of things that you should know and that she should know about me. How do you not know that? Everybody knows that. Well, no, not everybody does know that. That's how it's going to be. And one of mine is I like to have the remote control put back in the same place every time. Like when I finish with something, I really do my best to try to put it back where it is so that I can find it again because I will spend hours looking for that damn remote. You know what I mean? And it'll just be like right there. I just don't see it. I'm just looking. And that it never happens. Now I live with a 4-year-old daughter. It's like having a raccoon in my house. It's hiding.
It's always gone.
She's hiding and putting things in her easy bake oven. Why are my keys in there? Just like you never know. So it's never going to happen again, but it's not a covert contract with her. It's just a 4-year-old. I bring this, the covert contract up is because there's over and over again, this has been a point of contention in my relationship with Annie. And I see my friends having it happen all the time. And I don't know if they know about the covert contract. They just know that they're falling short of expectations. But what are the expectations? What do we do, Andy, to communicate our expectations more clearly?
Well, first of all, you need to understand that everybody has a different language. Everybody. A word that means something to me doesn't mean the same thing to you or to anybody else. And you have to understand that because we can talk about communication all day long, but if you don't realize that language matters, your communicating is crap. You could be talking for hours and still not get the point. So first, understanding, what does that word mean to you? Like, when you say that, do you mean this or do you mean this? I could say something and Rob could take offense to it because of how the word is, because how he was raised, whatever it is. And I'm not meaning that. So,
do you have an example for us?
I'll think about it. But the way that we communicate these covert contracts is really just speaking it first. I think it goes back to love languages, knowing what the love language is, and doing all this inner work has helped too. I realized that for me, part of my, I don't know what to call it, this issue that I have personally is speaking up for myself and not being afraid or being brave enough to be vulnerable to say, you know what, I really want you to put your dishes in the dishwasher, and not worry that he's going to be mad about it. It's ridiculous, right? But something inside of me, because maybe my mom or dad or how my parents lived, makes me feel afraid to ask for what I want. I feel like I'm unworthy of asking my husband to put his dishes in the dishwasher. And so even just in that, in him knowing that, and it's not words per se, but it's this energy, him knowing that this is a big deal for me and I haven't said it because I'm afraid to, is going to give him more power to want to do this for me, because it makes sense. Not just, oh, this bitch is crazy that she can't just put dishes in the dishwasher. No, like, it's a trauma thing. It really affects me. And just being able to tell Rob, that solved it. It had nothing to do with the dishes. It was me. It was a learning experience for me. Being able to feel worthy enough in my own house, in my own marriage, to be like, this is how I feel. Can you please do this? It would make my life better. And now when he leaves his dishes in the sink, it doesn't bother me, because the problem wasn't about the dishes. It was about me being able to talk about my problem. Period.
How did Rob take that when you told him that?
So this is how it happened. You're not going to believe this. Hang on, fellas.
He was like, what the fuck? The dishes? Are you serious?
No. So the real riddle was the context. I'm like, hey, we've been married now for a minute, and you've had a baby, and your body has changed, and I want more than anything in the world to do for you whatever it is that you want in order to feel fully sexually loved. All of it. I just want to, tell me what it is. I want to use these words because, it doesn't matter how hard you're working at the shop. If you're working on the wrong part of the machine, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It's still broken. And I wanted to make sure I was working on the right part of our intimacy. And
I felt like, oh, this is my chance. Rob has asked me.
I'm asking her
ready.
about what can I do in the bedroom that is going to really, light the fires, kick the tires. Let's get this party started. And she says, I'd like you to put your dishes in the dishwasher. What are you talking about right now? I was beside myself. I felt like, am I in another dimension right now? Did I just arrive recently in this room and I was part of a different conversation? And are you talking to me? Are you talking to me? Who are you talking to? I was blown away, so much to the point where I'm like, I did say that. Are you fucking kidding me right now? What? I was mad.
He was mad.
I was really mad.
So mad.
Because I thought it was a really great question.
And I thought it was a great answer, but without the language, without understanding that all of this trauma that I have, and the dishes being in there, and the feeling I get that you don't honor my time because I'm working my ass off all day, and you take your dish to the sink and leave it there when you could just put it in the dishwasher, tells me you don't give a shit about my time, that here I am busting my ass, and apparently you can't see that because here's one more thing to do. And so then when we're having sex, all I can think of is just left his fucking dishes in the sink again. This
is an illustration of the difference between how a woman's brain works and a man's brain works. This is a clear illustration.
I can give you the guy playbook that will work on about 95% of guys. I can lay it out, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah. And so I was beside myself so much that I didn't want to talk to her for the rest of that was okay, I'm done talking to you. Tonight's over. I'm going to bed.
It's 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, 3:30 I was in bed.
Well,
I need
that's
to take
normal,
a nap.
So.
Come on. Anyway, so I went and I have a few really amazing female mentors and friends in my life. I've been really lucky that I can have men and women friends that are honest and that can be truthful with me. And finding a trusted source sometimes is the most important thing that you can do. Mm-hmm. So I went to my female friends and I said, let me tell you what happened last night. Let me explain this, and I need some advice. And they're all like, yeah, you should put your dishes in the dishwasher. Like, this isn't how your brain works, but this is all what Annie's thinking about. It doesn't matter how romantic you are, if you brought flowers home, if you took her to a beautiful restaurant and did all these things, but if you do that one thing, that's what's going to be on her mind, keeping her from being present. It's going to keep her out of the now. It doesn't matter how beautiful you've made the now. It doesn't matter, because that's the one thing she'll focus on, because that's how our brains work. And when they told me that, I just had a moment of like, whoa, that sucks. That you can get hung up on something like that and it gets stuck in your brain, and that's the way that it is. But I'm the same way. I can get something stuck in my head and I will not leave it alone until I either worry it to death or I figure it out.
Right.
I'm going to work it to death. And we're the same that way, men and women. It's just we're in those ways we're different, how it works. And so when I had that come around to waking up to like, okay, this is important to Annie. And if I can do this, then Annie will feel love. And if she feels love, well, then I'll get more love. You know what I mean? Like it's a quid pro quo. So now I put the dishes in the dishwasher. I'm like, hey.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Put your sexy outfit on.
Take that, you filthy cup. And I'm putting those things in there. But the other thing, too, is I really go the extra mile now. If I'm conscious enough, I'm awake enough, and I see that the sink is full of dishes, what is the greatest thing I can do for my partner that is going to move the needle the most? What's the one thing I can do that will help her feel loved and respected by me? I'm going to load the dishwasher, even though I do it wrong. I do it poorly. I can't get as many dishes in as she can, and they're never as clean as when she gets them done. It doesn't matter. The fact is that I made the effort to try to do it because I love her. And that is her hot button. And so I'll push that button as often as I can when I'm conscious of it. When I'm in the kingdom of the skull, which is most of the time, I don't think to do those things, and she forgives me for it. And so we've come to this truce along the lines. And this is kind of a silly example, but it was a pivotal moment in our relationship where it occurred to me that this creature is different than I am, and it's important that I'm still asking those questions with an open mind and that I can try to hear it. And if I can't hear it, I need to go find that trusted source, male or female, and talk it out until I understand it more fully. There's been times when Annie and I have had disagreements, and I've had to be like, or she's had to be just like, okay, let's take a break right now. And we go and we work on it, and we come back and figure it out.
I think this is a good example because it hits on so many points that apply to every single situation in your relationship. When Rob was just telling us about how he'll load the dishwasher, but he doesn't always do it right. He can't fit as many dishes in there. You guys need to know I never have ever complained about how Rob loads a dishwasher, ever. He has an insecurity. That's his own insecurity about that.
I get it from your mom.
So he automatically assumes, because we all have these filters, so in his language, well, I'm not going to do it right anyways, so I'm just not going to do it. And me knowing that, and it's just about observation and continuing to work on yourself, because that's how you start seeing another person for their faults and their trauma without all this blaming stuff. But like him saying that, you could think that, well, Annie's, criticizing how he does the dishes, so he doesn't want to do the dishes. I'd never criticize him about doing the dishes. He has an insecurity for his own personal thing. So I have more compassion.
That would seem to me, though, that it would be a very easy thing to train out.
No.
No?
It's
No.
not.
No?
Well, it's just it's a fact. Like I've ever unloaded Annie's loaded dishwasher, which is another thing I do to try to love on her, is to, when she opens it up because there's no clean dishes, I've already done it. You know what I mean? It's like a little gift that I have waiting for her, a little surprise. But when I open up that dishwasher, it is packed, and there's no bowls that are holding filthy water. You know what I mean? There's no like things happening. It's all clean. It's amazing that it's in there so like Tetris level tight, and mine's just like I throw it in there, and I'll run the dishwasher twice if I have to. There's still stuff in the sink, but I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? It's not that big of a deal for me. So it's a fact that I cannot be as efficient as Annie is, and I appreciate that now more than ever because of this journey we've been on together.